This video gives you a chance to try out some questions. So you can pause the video and try numbers 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll go over the solutions. For number 1, we have a negative 5.84 minus a negative 7.85. We're going to take away the minus sign, making that into a plus sign, and change the negative 7.85 to its opposite, making it a positive 7.85. Now we have different signs that we're adding together. So we check to see which one is the greater sign, and we have more positives. So our answer will be positive, and then we compare through subtraction. So we take 7.85 minus 4.584, and because the 584 goes to 3 decimal places, we're going to put a 0 up with the 7.85. Now we can subtract. We're going to borrow. We'll have 6, borrow again, another 6, 2, decimal point, and 3. So we're going to have positive 3.266. For number 2, we already have adding, so we don't need to make any sign changes, but we have a negative plus a negative, so our answer will be negative. This time we can simply add the decimals to each other. So we'll take 5.7 and we'll add that to 9.381. And because that goes to 3 decimal places, we'll make the 5.7 to 3 decimal places and add those two numbers. So we'll have 1, 8, 10, we'll carry the 1, and 15. So it ends up being a negative 15.081, or 15 and 81 thousandths. For number 3, it's a totally different question. We're back to fractions. In a survey, 5 out of 8 apartment residents say they are sometimes bothered by noise. How many of the 24 residents would you expect to be bothered by noise? So 5 out of every 8 are bothered. So how many would be bothered if we change that to out of 24? And what we can do is look at the 8 moving up to the 24. You would multiply 8 times 3 to get to 24, so you do the same with the numerator. So 5 times 3 is 15. So 15 residents out of the 24 would be bothered by the noise. Number 4 is a word problem. You can read this through and pause the video, give it a try. In this question, we have a number of negatives that need to be put together. So because Rod's bank account was overdrawn, at first, we're going to be at negative 89.62. And then he also started to pay some bills. So he paid $110.70. And then he paid $99.68. And then he deposited 3 $100 bills. So he deposited 300. So that's a positive number. So what we can do here is, as we learned in class, we can add up all our negatives and then compare it to the positive. So we're going to take 8962, 110.70, and 99.68. We're going to add all those values because they're all negative, so our answer will be negative. Line up our decimals and begin adding. So we'll have 2 plus 8 is 10, we'll carry the 1. 6, 7, 6, and 1. So that's going to make 20, so we're going to carry a 2. And then we're going to have 9 plus 9 is 18, and 2 more is another 20. Carry the 2. 2 plus 8 plus 1 plus 9 is another 20. Carry the 2. And 2 plus 1 is 3. So we end up with $300 negative. And then remember, we're adding the $300 positive. So this gives us a 0 result. So Rod's bank account balance is $0. Number 5, Larry charges $25 per day to take care of people's pets. If he has 6 pets for 6 days, how much money does Larry make? The way I typically solve a question like this is I think about how much money he makes in one day. So every day he has 6 pets, and each pet gives him $25. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the $25 and multiply that by 6 to see what he earns in that day. So that becomes 30, and then 15. So he's making $150 in one day. Now we can take that $150 for the one day and multiply it by 6 days. And when we do that, we end up getting $900. So Larry makes $900 after those 6 days. For number 6, you're going to check your integer skills. We're back to integers, adding and subtracting, multiplying and dividing. For 6a, we see we have a number of subtractions. So each time we see subtraction, we're going to add the opposite. So this subtraction becomes addition, and the -2 becomes a +2. The next subtraction becomes addition, and the +8 becomes a -8. So now we have 5 plus 2 plus -8. So we put our positives together, which makes 7, plus a -8. We have more negatives. We have one more negative. For 6b, we are going to do the same. We're going to get rid of our subtractions and change the next sign to its opposite. So the -1 stays the same. We're going to change the minus to a plus sign, and the -7 becomes its opposite, +7. That +7 now stays the way it is. The minus becomes a plus, and the -4 becomes a +4. So now we have -1 plus 7 plus 4. We'll put our positives together. 7 plus 4 is 11. Plus -1. We definitely have more positives. We have 10 more positives than negatives. For c, we're going to add the opposite. This minus becomes a plus, and the -1 becomes a +1. We don't need to change our plus sign next door to that. So now we have 6 plus 1 plus -10. 6 plus 1 is 7, plus -10 means that we have more negatives than positives. We have 3 more negatives than positives. We subtract 10 minus 7. For D, we have multiplication. You can use epon if you like. Even, positive, odd, negative. We count our negative integers. We have 2 negative integers, which is even, so the answer will be positive. And then we multiply, and we can multiply in any order. 7 times 3 is 21, and 21 times 4 is 84. So we end up with a positive 84 result. If you don't like epon, you can multiply them in any order. For example, you could have -7 times +3 is -21, and -21 times -4 is +84. For E, we're doing division, same signs, so the result will be positive, and 18 divided by 9 is 2. And for F, we have only one negative, so we're going to multiply, and again, you can multiply in any order. 9 times 3 is 27, and then 27 times -2 will give a -54 result. I hope you found these try nows useful, and if you have any questions, you can come to tutorial or you can ask in class. Thanks for watching.